Today's guest is the CEO and co-founder of National Integrity Title Agency. I met this gentleman, I guess a decade plus years ago. Our sons played t-ball together, and we've been friends ever since. I'm excited to have George on. George Duffield, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate your time. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. I'm glad we could finally get this scheduled. I know we've been back and forth trying to get it locked in. Good to see you, man.
It's fantastic to see you. How you been? Busy?
Good. I mean, I could always be busier. I always could be busier. How about you?
Knock on wood. We're paying bills, I tell people. We're paying bills. Plugging away and paying bills.
Good stuff, brother. I wanted to have you on because, you know, your story is an inspiring one. And I want to go back to, you know, you're a high school graduate, Edison High School, and you chose not to take the college route.
Yes.
What did you do after high school?
So I actually never graduated high school, which is even better. I tell everybody I have 20 years education. I did 10th grade twice. I liked it so much. I said, let me go back. So I went to a high school in Philadelphia that was terrible. If you've ever seen the movie Stand By Me, that was my high school. It was Edison High School at 8th and Lehigh. I didn't live there. It was a terrible neighborhood. I was taking my own life every time I came outside. So for me, I was not a school person. So what I wound up doing, it's amazing. I tell everybody, in addition to the 20 years of education with the 10th grade joke, I've probably done more education since I've been out of school. I felt that school didn't teach me anything. I started roofing at 16 years old. And my mom said, listen, if you're going to drop out of high school, you're going to go for your GED, but you're going to work. Started off roofing, realized this wasn't the career path for me. I did it for 5 years. It's hard work. If it rains, you can't work. If it's snowy, you can't work. If it's windy, you can't work. And roofing in the city of Philadelphia it's backbreaking work. So salute to all the roofers out there who've lasted more than 5 years. God bless you. It's hard labor. So what we're looking at is, you know, while I was going to high school taking different courses after high school, I started in on my GED. I wanted to be a Philadelphia cop.
Okay.
I took the Philadelphia police test, got a 98. And when they called me, I was probably number 600 on the list. So me, my best friend, and unfortunately now his ex-wife took the test. I got a 98 and was ecstatic. You know, that it was every kid's dream, or at least it was mine, to be a cop. And what wound up happening is starting my own commercial floor maintenance company allowed me the opportunity not to have to put myself in a line of fire, as you say, as people say. It was an exciting time. I was probably 21 years old. I was making $60,000, $70,000. I got my GED, and I just wanted to be self-employed. I knew with that first opportunity, I always wanted to do my own thing. When you own your own business, it's all about survival.
Yeah,
you're the chief cook and bottle washer, and you have to know how to pivot at every turn. College definitely would not have been for me. I know you went to, I believe, Temple, and a lot of friends of mine went to college. Those were book guys, you know, people that could actually sit down and focus. I had to put myself in a situation to really understand what the situation was to grow. With my floor business, after 2.5 years, we were about 33 employees. And I started buying investment properties in the city of Philadelphia. So when we were doing the floor maintenance company, we realized, I realized it's time to start investing in real estate. So we started investing in real estate. And at the time, 1990, a lot of people would go in the paper and look to see for help wanted. And I used to advertise in the paper all the time. And one time, a couple guys came in and said, hey, listen, we want to fill out the application. And I noticed looking at the application, all these gentlemen had their applications all had the same address. And I'm thinking, all right, being from the city, what kind of game is going on here that you're trying to pull? I basically have a floor maintenance job. not a high level job, nothing special, but everybody's got the same address here. And I'm thinking they're trying to shade me somehow. And when I got talking to them a little bit, they said, we live in a place across the street. We all live at the same place called transitional housing.
Mhm.
At the time, I was able to accumulate 102 properties in the city of Philadelphia. So I went from renting, dealing with landlord tenant court every single day, to renting to senior citizens, to ultimately changing them all over into halfway houses. That's what transitional living is. And we were able to, I was able to do that for a few years. I've had a couple partners in various properties,
Mhm.
and it's a grind. I mean, you're dealing with people that are struggling in life. And I always looked at it as if you could help people in life and still make money, it's a win-win situation. Did that for about 4.5 years and started selling them off. And then I started selling real estate.
Yeah.
I worked for Wykert, New Jersey, and that's probably around the time we met up.
Yep. Yep. And I see you started, you were at Remax and
Yep.
Long and Foster. You started in March 2010 as a real estate agent?
Actually, 2004, I started with Wykert.
Okay.
For the first six
Got it.
months, Wykert has a model and they want you to stay in the box. It's a very successful model. But for a guy that's an entrepreneur mindset, I needed to be outside the box. Long and Foster came to town in 2005. Now, mind you, my office at the time was in Marlton, and they had an office in Princeton and Haddonfield, and they were opening up one in Cherry Hill. So I went to go work for Long and Foster in early 2005. At that time, 2006, I was probably Long and Foster's #1 agent in the state. And real estate was my thing. I understood it. I was able to do very well at it. I'd probably sell about $25 to $30 million a year in sales. I tell everybody that a cup of coffee and 50 cents will get you a cup of coffee. It's really nothing special. So, and the reason why I tell you this, because it leads into how I got to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
So I used to give all my title insurance work to Integrity Title that was in Cherry Hill. Integrity Title has been around since '92. It was a great company. I felt that they did their job as a title company. You know, in every industry, a lot of times certain companies don't stay in their lane. Integrity Title always stayed in their lane. They didn't get involved in the real estate side. They didn't get involved in the lending side. They did title, and they made my job as a realtor a lot easier. The head of their sales and marketing department in 2011 left to go start their own career, start their own company. And the owner reached out and said, "Hey, are you going to still continue to give us your work? You've been a valid customer, and we want to really take care of you." And, you know, being a young guy from the city of Philadelphia, we always have our sarcastic remarks from time to time. I said, "Don't worry, I'll come work for you. I'll run your sales and marketing department." The reality is I knew this much about title insurance, and I'm okay with that. After 2 or 3 meetings with Lynn Donahue, the owner of Integrity Title, she basically offered me a job. And it was one of these situations that I wasn't looking for a job. But I thought, you know, because in real estate, you eat what you kill. You know, whatever you hunt, whatever transaction you have, you list a property, you market it, you sell it, you get paid, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Title insurance, it's a little different. Went to go work for Integrity Title to run their sales and marketing department. After 3 years, myself and the operations manager, Fran Turchi, purchased the business. That was in 2015. Here we are, fast forward to 2021. We have just about 46 employees working for us. We changed the company to National Integrity Title. We do work in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, residential and commercial. And we've really changed the model or the mindset in title insurance.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just want to backtrack a little bit because I didn't know a lot of that. And I appreciate you sharing. I was doing some research on, you can only find back so far, but that was a good share. I appreciate that. But something about George that when I describe George, I describe him as a master connector and networker. And now you sharing with me the sales, success story that you had as a real estate agent, it makes a lot of sense because you're passionate about exceptional client experiences and service. And that's what your company pretty much prides himself on now. I mean, it's on the website. Talk a little bit about what makes your company, National Integrity Title Agency, different than others. I know you have state of the art, AI, you have a mobile tech and even an app now. Talk a little bit about that.
So when I first got into the business, I realized back in the day, and I say back in the day because it's 21. So November will be 10 years for me in the title insurance industry. 2011, prior to that, when I was a realtor, I would be sitting at somebody's house, and I predominantly worked with a lot of sellers. And in order to figure out what the transfer tax was, in New Jersey, it's on a sliding scale. So I would have this accordion brochure and I would pull it out. Well, I got to the point where I would call Integrity Title and call the processor and say, hey, I'm selling a house for $225,000. What's the transfer tax? All right, thank you very much. And I was able to calculate how much a seller was going to walk away with. Everybody wants to know when you're selling a house, at the end of the day, how much you're walking away with, because that determines what they're moving to either A, purchase something in the future, or their retirement, taking money. So we created one of the first of its kind mobile apps for title insurance. So people could literally go on their phone and get that calculation. I felt as a person in the industry, I understood the value of it. So we were able to put it in over 1,000 devices. And then we turned around and do what most entrepreneurs do. They white label it. And I actually sold it to my competitors. And we, obviously I didn't give them all the bells and whistles we had. I gave them the bells and whistles of what the time was, and we kept elevating it. I felt that title insurance is something most people don't even know. If you're getting car insurance, you call, whether it's Farmers or Allstate or Geico, and you understand what you're paying for. Most people don't understand with title insurance, they're paying for history. They're paying to be secure that nothing's going to come up whenever they decide to do something, whether it's a water lien, a judgment, or a mechanics lien. And we try to bring the future into that piece of it. Most title companies don't feel that they should invest in their company on the technology side, because title is traditionally done the same way with every single company. I'll be the first one to tell you, my partner's got 30 years in the business. There's nothing she doesn't know about title. What she has for lunch, or does at lunch for title, I haven't accumulated that kind of knowledge. She has 30 years, and I can't even come to grips with how much she knows. I'm a business guy. I look at things outside the box. We do things inside the box, but for us, we felt if we could give time back to the realtor in the form of a calculator, that would help. We felt that providing automation in a back-end system, that would help our processors, and it would also help communicate better with the customer and the referral partner, meaning the realtor, the lender, the banker, the accountant. We created the first of its kind phone app. Then we spun it off to the first in our immediate area for texting. So we created kind of like a pizza tracker for title insurance. So people are brought up to speed at 5 or 6 milestones throughout the transaction. Once again, it's all about giving time to the customer. Then we wanted to work on how can we also give time to the customer and give time to our staff with the little odds and end questions. Because most people don't understand title insurance, they're constantly calling the office. And we felt that if we could be able to provide a virtual assistant,
step by step, right?
Step by step.
Yeah.
If you have certain pieces of information that you want based on a particular file, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're thinking about this, you can just text our virtual assistant, Robin, and she would text you the information.
Very cool.
We figured it would give them, I think last month alone, Robin sent out over 5,800 text messages. So if we can grab 25% more time that our staff can have to themselves to actually do work as opposed to constantly picking up the phone, it's a win-win for everybody. So that's kind of the things that we do different with our technology at National Integrity Title. Most title companies, we all order from the same places. Title's title, when it comes back, you get it. For us, it's about being able to provide a quality service give people education, give them some time back, and move the ball forward, because it is 2021.
Yeah.
Most people don't think about that. The title's title. It's
Now,
important.
and you know, something I want to share too, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, that you can choose your title company. You know, any real estate transaction you have, you can choose what title company you want to work with. You know, your real estate agency, even on refis. Which, you know, I did a refi not too long ago, and I said, I want your company to handle it. And just the way you're so sort of service oriented. I don't know why anyone would want to work with you and your company. And it was a smooth experience.
You know, it's unfortunate that most people don't know. This is probably one of the few industries that it's a referral based industry. I mean,
Yeah.
realtors, commercial lenders, commercial attorneys, bankers, accountants, financial advisors, we get our work from there. So we look at it, how can we start to capture or educate the consumer to call us to ask us about title insurance? So what most people don't know is title insurance is mandated by the state. We don't set the prices, we don't dictate the prices. So what we charge for title insurance is the same exact cost of what our customer or our competition across the street or down the street is charging. It comes down to customer service. I'm one of the few title agents, co-owners in the industry in our immediate area to actually give out their cell phone. If a customer's calling me on a Sunday night for a question, I want to try and do my best to get that answer. And, you know, the only difference between our company and some of our competitors locally, they have a 30-year head start. But technology wise, they're so far behind the eight ball, it's not even funny. So it's trying to get our name out to the consumer to say, you have a right to pick the company. I mean, it's not a negotiable item. The state dictates it. It's like buying a Rolex. The price is the price. So,
I mean, you guys are so active on social media, and that's got to be huge for you. You know, how has social media helped you grow and to build your brand?
Consistency.
Yeah.
We've been consistent since day one. March of this year, so you figure it's June of 2021. March of 21, we just celebrated 5 years in the business. When we first took over the company, the first thing we did was change our immediate website to make it a little bit more interactive. In addition to, we are consistent on social media, whether it's Instagram or whether it's Facebook. In addition to, Google has been fantastic for us. Our nearest competitor probably has about 160 less Google reviews than we do. We feel that our phone has been ringing more based off of the Google reviews, because today everybody wants to make sure they're hiring the right person. They want to make sure that they're hiring a person that has been validated by a lot of other people. And it's important to make sure that social media and everything is consistent. It's not that there's one avenue that's going to be the end all be all. It's just being consistent with all of them, including our Google business page.
Yep. Now, good stuff. And I noticed from your website too that you're underwritten by Westcor. Is that correct?
Well, yes.
We did a 7,000 square foot renovation for Westcor a couple of years ago. I don't think I ever told you that.
Small world. Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. It was a brand new one, really trust building that we did that in.
Westcor has been very agent friendly throughout our process. My partner has a relationship, a long-term relationship with their legal department. She can pick up the phone and get the questions that she may have that she might not be able to answer, but she can get somebody on the phone, where a lot of these bigger underwriters, you know, you sit in a queue and somebody will call you back. We like the personal touch, because as an agency, our consumers want the personal touch. They want to be able to pick up the phone and call myself or my partner or one of our sales reps or our staff.
That's huge.
Yeah, because it's also, for some people, it's a terrifying relationship or a terrifying experience for people when they don't really know what they're getting involved with purchasing their first home.
Yeah. Yep.
Or an investment property.
No, I totally agree. Now, besides leading the growth of your company, what else as a CEO, you know, just talk a little bit about your daily, your daily responsibilities and activities.
For us, it's about communication. For me personally, I try to make sure that every single customer that sends us a transaction, I try to personally reach out to them, either with an email or a quick phone call. What I do as an owner, I try to show more value than just the title company. I try to work with our partners to see what I can do to personally help grow them, whether it's through the form of introductions or through a form of seeing what I can do to help their business. We have over 5,000 square foot here in Marlton, New Jersey. Through COVID, a lot of people have taken a step back from going into their office, or their offices have not allowed them the opportunity to come in.
Yeah.
We've opened up our doors. We sanitize our place either every night or first thing in the morning before customers come and go. And we have opened up our doors to say, if you don't have an office, come work here. Bring your laptop, bring your earbuds. We have a unique setup where it's a cafe type environment, and we've opened them up for people to conduct business and not be slowed down. We do have 3 large conference rooms if somebody needs to have a private meeting, and we do have 2 smaller offices in the back where our staff works, that if somebody needed to have a one-on-one, they can do that as well.
Good stuff. I want to also say, before I forget, because we're getting close to wrapping this thing up, but I really appreciate you sending your monthly emails, whether it's monthly or two monthly, just reaching out to connect and just, George will send these emails and, it with a personal touch, just, hey, just want to say hello. I just want to say if there's anything I can do, to help, let me know. And he's always reaching out to me, inviting me to networking events and trying to introduce me to people. And I just want to first say, I appreciate you, man, for that. Thank you.
If somebody, when people get a chance to listen to this and they understand, it's not about me, it's about you. What can I do for you? I learned when I first got into the title business, there were 2 people that really taught me the art of what can I do for you. A gentleman, unfortunately, passed away a few years ago by the name of Scott Zalber, who was an attorney, Sobrani Zalber, and Lee Shields, who's one of the managing partners at Freeman LLP, which is an accounting firm, a pretty large accounting firm. To show value to somebody, you have to do something for them. I never had this model of sitting back saying, gimme, gimme, gimme. Mm-hmm. I don't look for one transaction. I look for a 30-year relationship. Mm-hmm. I want to help people grow, because I feel that if you do it with the best intent, your business will organically grow.
I agree.
And it's about what can I do for you? Follow-up has been huge for me. When you mentioned about the emails, I have it set up that I stay in front of people all the time, because I don't necessarily need to get a deal from you now. I just went at top of mind that, hey, don't forget, George is still in the title business, because that's where a lot of businesses fall short. I tell everybody 3 things: unseen, untold is unsold. If people don't see you and they don't know about you, they won't buy you. Meaning you are a representation of your company. You're in the marketing business. No matter what business you have, you're in the marketing business.
Yes, you are.
If they don't see you, they don't hear about you, they will never buy you. Unseen, untold is unsold. And we believe that here. Yep. So if that's a little tip for somebody to listen in, I hope it helps them out. I truly hope it helps them out.
Love it. No, good share there, man. And where are you headed right now? Like, where do you see your company in 5 to 10 years?
So our company is growing. We're in the process of talking to 2 other companies for acquiring them. Keep in mind, Integrity Title was acquired by National Integrity, myself and my partner. We're looking to grow our footprint, not just in the Jersey market, but we're also in the process of talking to somebody down in Florida. For us, we're all about opportunity. I don't think you should just stick in one local market. Mm-hmm. The industry, e-closings. I hear a lot of agents or agencies talk about, oh, we're doing remote online notaries. The reality is you cannot do you cannot conduct a fully closing online 100%, because if your mortgage company, say you're using a local broker and they have you sign all the documents and they sell your loan off, if the company that they're selling your loan off don't accept not wet ink, a copy, it's going to get kicked back and you're going to redo it. A lot of times in certain counties, the recordings. They want wet ink when they're recording something.
Mm-hmm.
So they might say that they do it, but me and my partner travel all across the country. And in some areas you can do some things, and some areas you can. In our particular area, in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, you cannot do a 100% remote online closing.
Okay.
Now, you can do a remote online notary, whether it's through a third party, Provaso, or some of these other companies, but a hard closing, you cannot do it online yet.
Interesting.
So that's for anybody out there that says, oh,
Yeah.
I can do it 100%. In New Jersey and Pennsylvania, you cannot.
Got it.
The county doesn't record it, you got nothing. You got nothing.
So outside of work that you're obviously very passionate about, what do you like to do by way of hobbies?
You know, when you sent over your list, I was looking at it, and I was thinking to myself, my hobbies are my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds weird that, you know, I have friends that like yourself, you play baseball all the time, or, you know, I have friends that play ice hockey and they're getting ice time on a Tuesday night at 11 o'clock, or soccer. My quality time is spent with my kids. And I'm like an iguana. If I hit the beach, I don't move. I just sit there all day.
I can do the same.
I don't know. Fly fishing is another hobby of mine that I enjoy in the fall. It's not something I do in the summertime. Every year I take a trip up to Lake Ontario, and I've been fortunate to go with my kids a few times. I just like sitting out in the water, relaxing, and even if I don't catch a fish, just the peace and quiet and the serenity. I mean, you know, being in business, you're on the grind all the time.
Yeah.
To be able to sit there and listen to the water and do a whole lot of nothing, that works for me. It does help when you catch a nice sized salmon, but yeah, for the most part, I try to just relax, and it's even more of a benefit when I could go with my kids and their time allows for it.
Yeah, no, awesome. And I know you know, I started getting into hiking, just nature walks, being out in nature. It's just growing on me by the day. I mean, it's so good for you. So good for you.
Think about how much we do in a work week. We're always on, and, you know, and you try to balance the work life with the home life. And at some point you need to have some you life, you know, and when you're hiking or fishing or biking or doing something for you, you need that too to refresh, you know. You're only as good as yourself, right? And if you're not in a mental good spot, you got problems for everybody, and you can't hold the train if you're in a bad spot. Hiking has always been fantastic for me. Getting up some of those rocks is a little tough as I get a little older. I'm not as strong as I used to be, but I work through it.
We have to get out on the golf course too. Don't forget. That's also very relaxing, good time.
Yeah, definitely.
So if someone wants to, you know, get into, you know, construction that I'm in, get into your profession, the real estate, you know, business, or just follow their passion or heart, what would your advice be to do so?
Don't jump in something with the expectations of thinking you're going to be the boss out of the gate. You got to learn all the smaller things below. I see a lot of people a lot of kids come into our industry, and all of a sudden they want to sit in my chair, and they don't understand, you know, there's a lifetime of learning there, how to manage people, how to manage situations. As a graduate at Dale Carnegie, they teach you how to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. And that being said, it's hard for people, you know, everybody has this, my mom had the same idea. You go to high school, you graduate, you get a diploma, you go to college, you graduate, you get a good job.
Yep.
And that's not necessarily true in today's world, because everything has changed. I tell my kids, it's okay not to go to college. It's not okay to get educated. So educate yourself one way or the other.
Yes.
Pick up different seminars, go to the local community college, and they have small courses. It's not going to college full time. Pick up a bookkeeping course. You know, I see a lot of young kids come into business, and they don't even know how to write a checkbook out, and that's okay. You know, we rely as adults and parents that the schools will educate our kids, but the reality is they don't. And I don't want to say they're a money grab, and college is not for everybody. Some people really grasp it. It's a way of, sometimes they pick it up because they're educated the right way. I know a guy that went to school to be a math teacher, and he was flunking out of school. The guy turned out he had the wrong math teacher. Sometimes some people articulate a little bit better than the others. And he met the right math teacher. Now the guy's a head chemist at Glaxo.
Yeah.
So go figure.
Yeah. He had a connection, with that teacher. Yep.
And he had a connection. And that's the same thing like in the construction world. There's a ton of opportunity for growth. There's a ton of opportunity for people to make really good, solid livings with great benefits. If you don't go to college, don't do nothing. Go educate yourself.
Yeah.
Figure it out. It's okay to take a little bit of time. You don't have to leave high school in June.
Absolutely.
Jump in college in August or September. Chances are you'll do something you don't want to do. In addition to, you'll have a lot of debt on your neck. It's okay to take different jobs to understand what you don't like to do. Looking back, would I have loved to enjoy going to a college and that experience? Absolutely. But I would have never gave up my experience. And, there's an old saying, you got to walk in somebody else's shoes to understand where they've been. You can't do that if you just jump right into something. I'm not advocating don't go to college. I'm just saying there are other opportunities. Not everything is for everybody.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Great share, man. I mean, that's exactly what this podcast is about. It's alternatives to college and just open people's eyes to, what's out there. College is not the only path, and it's certainly not for everybody.
Like I said, me and my partner own a multi-million-dollar company. We own various investments. We're partners in a couple multi-million-dollar buildings. And I never graduated high school. I never went past 10th grade. Sometimes people say I can see why, but other times, it's that was my path. But I made the best of it. You got to survive. You cannot sit back and expect people to give you something. You have to do something. That's why I said you always have to educate yourself, even if it's going and taking different seminars in different areas. You'll see what you like. You'll see what you don't like. But the most important thing, you'll get an idea. And there's no one silver bullet for all. It's getting a little bit of everything to understand something broader. Take a Dale Carnegie class. Definitely take a Dale Carnegie class. Learn how to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Just to open your eyes. It's not the answer of everything. It just opens your eyes. Love it, man.
If anyone wants to get a hold of you, want to share your social media contact, your website address?
Yeah, you can call me direct, 267-972-8124. Shoot me a text. You can email me at george@myintegritytitle. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I believe it's just Google George Duffield, New Jersey, Facebook, and my information will pop up.
Okay.
Same thing with Instagram. If you want to see more on our company, go to nationalintegritytitle.com.
Great, man.
If anybody has any questions, I'm here to help.
Dude, I appreciate your time, brother. Good to catch up.
I can't thank you enough. Just so you know, this is my first podcast, so if I seemed a little nervous or walk through it a little bit more, you're the only one that was able to nail me down. So thank you.
I love it, man.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so glad you're a part of it. You will be episode 23, and we'll see it soon. And here,
brother.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. See you, buddy. Bye.